Good morning, I'm Angelo Castro III.
Tumatawa ka. I'm
Siga.
Angela and we are the Castros.
Ang
Hindi,
siga.
bakit tumatawa? Hindi ko alam.
Kasi may Christmas tree tayo. Diba?
Oh, meron tayong Christmas tree na cake.
Wait, smell-
Galing yan kanina
smell
dun
mo,
sa babae. Bakit?
Smell mo.
From ano yan?
Bilis.
Ika's Bake Shop.
Lumapit
Bake.
Lumapit ka na konti. Smell
Bakit?
mo.
Ayoko. Bakit?
Smell mo. Hindi,
Pero
thank you.
iniisip ko pa paano siya hahati.
Galing, no?
I wanna eat it eh.
Parang hanggang lampas-pas ko, gusto ko iwan ko na lang ng ganyan. Tignan natin kung tatagal. Oy, and then, aside from the cake, of course, we have our raisin bread.
Favorite mo yan.
Oh, all-time favorite ko with coffee yan. Madami po tayong pag-uusapan today, ha, mga
Mary
ka-brunchies.
Jane Veloso is set to go home.
Tonight, at 12 midnight, and straight po sa correctional...
Hindi, may mga procedure. May pag-usapan natin.
Straight sa
mamaya.
facility, but may ano pa dahil, may
Hindi pa siya straight sa facility.
Okay.
May mga ano tayo.
Ang tinatawag nila dyan po is debriefing, health
May
check.
quarantine pa siya 5
Oo.
days.
May quarantine pa 5 days.
Mamaya pag-usapan natin yung detalye.
Siyempre, they're keeping everything ma'am kasi they wanna keep her safe.
Oo. Tapos of course, usapin pa rin ng budget.
Oo.
'Di ba? Zero subsidy sa PhilHealth. Tapos bakit mas mataas yung budget ng DPWH
Medyo
kaysa sa
contentious
DepEd?
medyo ang daming
Issue nitong budget na to, 2025.
Madaming hindi po nagkakatugma ng pag-iisip tungkol sa damdamin nila sa budget na ito. Kasi madaming interpretation of how to go about this. But let's talk about that later on. We're serving the news in a countdown.
All that before your second cup of coffee. This is Brunch.
Let's start off our countdown with the weather. A low-pressure area near Mindanao is expected to develop into a storm in the next 24 hours. As of 3 a.m., the low-pressure area was last spotted 155 kilometers east-southeast of Tagum City, Davao del Norte. It also embedded along the Intertropical Convergence Zone, or ITCZ. Once the LPA becomes a storm, it will be named as Kerubin. The LPA is expected to bring cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms in eastern Visayas, Caraga, and the Davao region. Uy, Kerubin, di ba? Mayroon tayong Colonel Ariel Kerubin. Same name. Pero, well, this is supposed to be one of the last two. Dapat kasi may dalawa pa eh. Pero mukhang baka hindi daw makompleto.
Okay nga eh. Kahit na
Thank you, Lord. That's why I'm saying lang na one last storm. I hope yung impact nito won't be as bad.
Sana dumaan na lang siya.
Sana dumaan na lang
or
siya.
matunaw na lang siya on the way. I don't know. Pero kasi magpapasko na eh. Di ba?
Or it can come in pero yung light rain para madiligan naman yung mga trees, yung mga grass. Di ba? Yun lang, light lang.
Yeah.
Light lang. Alright.
Alright, let's continue with our countdown. Next in our countdown, the Manila City Jail sets up a Christmas wish tree for persons deprived of liberty. PDLs write their Christmas wishes and hang them on the Christmas tree. The Wish Tree Project is an annual tradition in Manila City Jail. It aims to grant simple Christmas wishes from persons deprived of liberty. Some of these wishes include having toiletries and grocery packages. Ganun kasimpleng hiling lang
Isipin
nila.
mo, here we are dito sa labas, full of freedom, daming reklamo sa buhay.
Well, nandun sila kasi may ginawa sila kasi.
Yeah, but no, these are hindi pa naman to waiting to sa cases nila eh. Mga DPL mga city jail, they're not yet ruled with finality. They're not yet guilty. And even if you are guilty, di ba, we are not to judge. Only
So, simple lang hiling nila, magkaroon ng toiletries, grocery package. Kasi minsan, di ba yung mga kinakain nila dyan, nagiging issue din yan sa Manila City Jail.
Dati kasi may dinalaw akong kaibigan dyan. And if you're able to experience 15 minutes, even as a visiting the jail, in Quezon City Jail, talagang you will have nightmares when you go home. Because rotation sila matulog dyan. 15 minutes nakatayo, 15 minutes nakahiga, tapos naglo-lottery sila kung sino yung swerte. Pwedeng matulog ng 10 hours bed.
Sa bed.
Tapos ang lutuan nila sa stairs. They cook on the stairs, may tagatoka sa prito sa fish, sa rice, 'di ba? So it's really not a good experience for a lot of us.
Oo. Nakita mo, annual tradition nila yan, no? Niro-roll yun nila yung mga papel. Inside those paper ay mga wishes nila. Simple as yun nga, having grocery items.
Sana naman,
or toiletries.
sana dinefine ng city jail naman na kung hanggang saan lang yung wish. Baka,
Yung iba-
baka may naglagay ng wish dyan, freedom.
Hindi. Let's see. Pero yung iba kasi they go there, di ba? Tapos namimigay sila, lalo na pag Pasko,
Yeah.
ng mga pakain, di ba? Mga munting regalo para dun sa mga PDLs.
Di ba kasama yan sa sinasabi ng Diyos na act of mercy, yung people who are in prison, di ba? You go visit them. So if you have time or you have anything spare or anything good to give, might as well share it all, di ba?
But speaking of Christmas, the merriest celebration of the season is far from over. Catch the second part of Merry ang Vibes ng Pasko, the MVP Group Christmas Party. That will air on December 22, 5:30 p.m. on TV5, Sari Sari, Buko Channel, 1PH, with same-day catch-up on RPTV. This Christmas special is for the benefit of typhoon survivors. So the last time kasi yung first part was aired already over the weekend, December 15. And we're on to the second part, which is going to be on December 22.
Abangan nila.
Abangan nila kasi over 8,000 employees ang nakilahok dyan, 200 celebrities as well. At yun nga, yung malilikom na pera is for the benefit of the typhoon victims. Alright.
Okay.
Let's continue with our countdown.
Now, some good news in our 8th spot. Yun. Oh, yan. Ito, the Bureau of Internal Revenue has exempted more medicines from... Yun. Si Mary Jane yung video na yun yung pinakita.
Mamaya yan,
But ito
mamaya.
muna tayo. The Bureau of Internal Revenue has exempted more medicines from the 12% value-added tax or VAT. Now, these 16 medicines are for cancer, diabetes, mental health conditions. Under the CREATE Act, prescription drugs for these health conditions are eligible for VAT exemption. The medicines that are now VAT exempted are flashed on your screen. Maraming salamat po, Direk, at hindi nyo pinabasa sa akin yung mga gamot na yan.
For cancer
Oo.
patients, mga diabetic, yan. So sabi nga nila, the BIR supports the national government's thrust of more affordable medicine and healthcare para dun sa mga nangangailangan. And of course, yung persons with disabilities are also entitled to 20% discount on any medication purchase at
Nakalagay
any
ba dyan yung
drugstore.
gamot ko? Yung
Ano ka ba?
losartan?
Losartan?
Oo. Pang
Hindi,
high blood
pang
yan.
cancer kasi. Mental illness, diabetes, cancer. Yan yung mga
Dapat-
additional. Pero hindi ko alam yung unang mga listahan kasi additional lang naman ito na
okay.
VAT-exempted
Kasi
medicine.
ang high blood is chronic ka, no? Okay.
Alright, thank you. Coming up, Filipina death row convict Mary Jane Veloso is reported set to return to the Philippines by tomorrow, just in time for Christmas.
And what are President Bongbong Marcos's reasons for supporting the removal of PhilHealth subsidy for next year? Yes, let's
Ang
listen
laking-
to his reasons for removing yung subsidy.
Ang
Yung
laking
for-
usapin yan
Yung comments niya on it. Ang malaking usapin
supporting,
niya.
no?
For
Kasi
supporting,
diba yung
for supporting.
Congress, ang BICAM, supposedly ang nag-remove ng
And,
subsidy for this year
and
sa PhilHealth.
Speaking of Mary Jane, nakita mo sa mata niya yung happiness. So, nakakaiyak na iyak ako sa
So, yesterday ba
tears in her eyes.
Yesterday kasi we were talking about her na hindi na tinuloy yung compassionate visit sa kanya supposedly this year kasi uuwi naman na siya. So no need naman to go there. And isipin mo, she left Philippines nung ang anak niya ay 1 year old and 4 months and then the other one's 8 years old. Now they've already grown up and makikita
Ika nga sabi nga nila si Mary Jane has received double blessing. Bakit double? Kasi initially, if magkaroon ng stay of execution or may pardon or clemency or commutation of sentence sa Indonesia, pwedeng matanggal siya sa death row pero life imprisonment
Doon
pa
pa
rin
rin siya
sa
doon. Oo.
Pero what happened here is she escaped death row And she's back in her hometown with the possibility of attaining freedom.
Oh, yung clemency.
Clemency. So,
pero mamaya pag-usapan natin yung iba't ibang detalye ng pag-uwi dito ni Mary Jane.
Ingat kayo, Mary Jane, pa-uwi.
We are just getting started. More of our top 10 news when Brunch returns. Keep it here on One News. Good morning. You're still watching Brunch here on One News.
Actually,
of course, thank you sa sa baba. Binigyan tayo ng ganito.
Pinag-uusapan namin kung paano i-ano to eh.
Ang pangalan nito, iCut Bake Shop. Yan, siya yung nag-bake.
Yun nga,
nito.
speaking of that, pinag-uusapan nga namin kung paano i-cut tong cake.
Oo. Si Ralph Domingo, Migs Ebron, si Sam Pokemon. Tatanong sila kung edible ba to. Yes, edible yan. Si Ronald Maxtay, Mark Santiago, Oscar, at saka si Elmo Cardenas, Summer Cabrera, they're all watching also via YouTube. And of course, si Tita Daisy, Tito Naldi, Tito Nito, Cancho family nanonood din sa atin. Mina Benales and Tita Esther Abaya, at saka the rest of our Jessie Mendez family. Jerry Yang also watching, VJ, Hiner, at saka si Ice, yan nanonood. Ate Ice nanonood sa atin. And of course, our Mother Earth nanonood. Seryoso siya. Si Mama, hi Mama.
Parang puzzle kasi sa akin.
Kasi iniisip ko, kapag ka sa baba, natutumba.
Basta promise sa inyo
try
guys,
natin sa taas.
bago matapos tong episode
Ubus mo?
Hindi. Yan.
Yun.
Sabi ko sana, pag-iisipan ko, paano mo kakainin ang laki-laki?
Di hahati tayo.
Ayun. Sige, let's while we're cutting this, we can move on to our next.
Now, on our 7th spot is the situation in Gaza. Over 45,000 Palestinians have now been killed in the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas militants. Palestinian health officials said the actual toll could be higher because thousands of bodies are buried under the rubble. They also said more than half of the fatalities are women and children. Qatar, Egypt, and the United States have renewed efforts to broker a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas.
Medyo futile kasi for both sides to try to enter into agreements with regards to ceasefire because I think nagwe-waiting game ang Israel as well and Palestine as to ano bang magiging directives ni the new president Donald Trump.
So habang nagwe-waiting game sila over the past 24 hours, meron na naman airstrikes silang binomba dyan over the bomb territory dyan sa Gaza and more than 50 yung namatay, including 10 families.
Ang problema kasi
family
dito,
of 4, sorry.
Hamas is striking Israel from Palestinian point. So, syempre, ang Israel naman, natural instinct sila to defend themselves and retaliate. They hit back at Palestine. Ang problema, mga innocent Palestinians naman ang tatamaan. So, pare-pareho lang silang guilty of these issues. Diba? Ang inaano ng US dito, baka naman we can find a way to root out these Hamas militants and pull them out of yung territory ng Palestine para hindi na madamay yung mga Palestinians. Because hindi rin kasi tumitigil
ang... more on women and children.
Hindi kasi tumitigil ang Hamas.
Nito.
And it's even on the ground, even some reporters are saying, on the ground, mga foreign journalists are saying, that Hamas militants are using...
Both of them, actually.
No, I'm talking
Israel
about Hamas side. I'm talking about the Hamas side. They're using Hamas, Palestinian people as shields. Because alam nilang ugali ng Israel, they will strike and strike back. So, ihaharang nila yung mga innocent people.
Tapos ang sinasabi ng Israel, ang Hamas daw kasi kapag nagsastrike back ay talagang hindi daw iniiwas kung saan yung mga civilians. And eto, yung binom naman ng Israel over the past 24 hours that I've told you kanina, ay mga civilian din yung tinamaan. So, both of them.
No, I'm just saying, just for context, this all started po when Hamas struck at Israeli concert, killing teenagers, and even young children.
October, no? Last year.
There were simple children and teenagers daw enjoying a concert. They were raped, brutally murdered, kidnapped, and a lot of them.
I think 100 pa yung nasa yung hostages nila, pero parang they believe na 1/3 of it are already dead.
No, minasakar na daw ng Hamas yung iba.
Tapos may mga nai-interview over yung international news outlets, ini-interview mga families of those hostages. Na until now, of course, umaasa sila na sana buhay yung anak nila at mapauwi na.
Well, there's no room po for war or atrocities in a civilized society. So I hope this gets resolved soon for both sides. We're not taking sides. Ang importante that the innocent people are out of harm's way, and yung mga siraulong mga gumagamit sa innocent people as shields or striking each other, makonsensya sana kayo.
Alright, let's continue with our countdown.
Settling at the sixth spot is about the newly opened food bank. The Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, opened its Walang Gutom Kitchen for the hungry and homeless in Pasay City. The food bank was a repurposed former Pogo hub. Its supplies are from the food surplus of restaurants and other food companies. DSWD Secretary Rex Gatchalian assures the public that the free food being served are screened and ensured to be health satisfying for customers.
Kesa itapon lang yung pagkain, maraming nagugutom, ibagsak nila dito, kami naman ang magsisigurado na yung mga nagugutom nating kababayan, makakakuha ng pagkain araw-araw.
O, diba?
This is
Dating yung Pogo Hub.
Oo,
okay kung
na-repurpose.
ganyan yung gagawin, hindi yung
This is
magtatayo ng sariling Pogo.
This is a very good concept or
Initiative,
idea. Kasi if you remember, all throughout, ako, growing up, every time mapapadaan ka sa closing ng McDonald's, kunyari Jollibee, or whatever fast food chain,
Di ba lagi natin tinatanong yun?
you will see them taking out yung mga burgers nila. Yung mga chicken, hindi na talaga yon kasi uncovered yun. Pero yung mga sandwiches nila, they will remove them from the restaurant. Sas kunyari hihingiin mo to donate it, ayaw nila ibigay kasi they cannot vouch for the quality. Di ba? They'd rather donate daw on their own time, clean. Pero ang sinasabi ng iba kasi, ang bagong protocol is, kunyari, naggumawa sila ng 1,000 burgers ng 8 o'clock ng gabi, ng close ng 10, 500 na nabenta, hindi pa lapse. Pwede na i-repurpose straight to the food hub, pwede na ipadala yan doon.
Sayang kasi.
Oo, tapos as long as they're following yung HACCP guidelines, yung HACCP guidelines naman ng holding.
Ano naman sabi ni Secretary?
Yes, Secretary, they can guarantee that. So yun, this is a very good idea. Lahat ng mga food restaurants, babagsak nila dito sa repurposed Pogo hubs, and then they could give it to people.
Just make sure nga na healthy ito at pwede hindi naman perwisyo dun sa mga kakain. Instead na ma-waste. Ang dami kasi nga, di ba? Bakit? Ano titignan mo? Ang daming mga nasasayang na mga pagkain. So this is a good
Ang galing,
idea.
nakat ni Angel.
Yes.
May strawberry filling pa ata sa loob.
Yeah, it is. Oo, strawberry yan.
Galing. Oh. Strawberry chiffon.
Yun. Ikaw ang anuhin. Ayusin mo.
Oh, wala na. Sira na ang Christmas tree.
Wala na. Hindi pa naman nila nakikita. Alright, let's continue with our countdown. Moving over now to our top 5, former COA Commissioner Heidi Mendoza says offices may use aliases in confidential fund disbursements. But in an interview on Storycon, Mendoza noted that these offices should be ready to disclose their identities when demanded. She said concerned officials should have a journal where the real names of those who received the funds are listed down. Mendoza also noted that accomplishment reports and spending documents are covered by congressional oversight.
Kasi di ba, usapang taong bayan ito eh. Sabi nga natin, aside dun sa responsibilidad mo bilang head of office na meron kang katungkulang mag-adapt ng measure. Hindi naman pwede hindi yan pwede Ami or Ed na sasabihin na lang natin na alias yun na yun.
Wait lang. Ang sarap ng cake.
Oo.
Hindi nga siya correct. Sorry Hindi siya chiffon.
I told you.
Butter cake.
Ito yung pinag-uusapan natin yesterday. 'Di ba? Before yung sa story ko, 'di ba pinag-uusapan natin 'to na yung tungkol doon sa proseso ng confidential funds.
Oo.
Pwede namang gumamit ng mga aliases for the 'di ba, security concerns. Pero yun nga, dapat ready sila na ipakita, i-disclose kung sino-sino 'yon on proper channels, 'di ba?
Sinabi naman natin kahapon. We
Yun,
were talking
that's
about-
yun nga, I said, that's what we're talking about.
But we have a black book or a blue book ready. When you're ready to present, you present the actual book. Pero yung initial receipts for other agencies, alam ko naman naka-alias pseudo names yan, tsaka alias yan. Pero ang problema, ito wala silang record eh.
Si VP Sara naman, sabi niya, I don't want to comment on that kasi nga sabi niya, baka daw it will concern nga yung security. Pero on the other side naman din, sinabi niya na hindi rin daw niya alam itong mga acknowledgement receipts na to. Diba?
Yeah.
Yan ang sinasabi niya. So yun nga, dun sa usapin pa rin ito ng confidential funds kasi sinasabi nila over the past few weeks nila Senator Bato de la Rosa na what's the use of being confidential kung pag-uusapan din naman, 'di ba, outright. Pero sinabi nga ni Attorney Nery Colmenares, 'di ba, former congressman, nung na-interview natin siya dito, na actually doon sa GAA 2015.
May guidelines.
Oo, may guidelines. So, dapat may physical plan ang isang ahensya pagdating nga sa paggamit ng confidential fund.
How I wish yung may karoon talaga ng politicians that our loyalty is to the nation and to the Filipino people rather than to their political friends.
Oo.
Diba? Pinagtatanggol mo talaga ang kasama mo sa politika, imbis na yung truthfulness. Sometimes you're so blinded by the truth because you're enamored with your political friends, allies.
Oo nga eh. Pero ayun, ano ba yung isa pang point natin dyan? Of course, sinasabi din ng iba, mas maigi na talaga na wala ng confidential funds dun sa ibang mga ahensya na hindi naman kailangan ng confidential
There is no business
fund.
of having confidential or intelligence funds with agencies that have nothing to do with it. Diba? Redundant ka na nga eh. Meron na nga intelligence, may ISAF ka pa nga eh, diba? Sa Army, meron ka pang intelligence agency sa NBI, you have PNP intelligence officers. Ang daming agencies, but DepEd doesn't need that. Yung Office of the President understood yan. Pangulo ng Pilipinas, he needs funds to cover national security and other things. Pero yung OVP, hindi na rin kailangan yan. DepEd, hindi naman kailangan yan.
At saka during the investigation nga, di ba, sa House of Representatives, lumalabas doon na, di ba yung Special Disbursement Officer, na dapat siya yung humahawak ng confidential fund, ay walang alam doon sa
Security
nangyayari.
officer lang siya.
Apparently, security officer yung nagdadala ng pera, nagdi-disburse, tapos yung mga acknowledgement receipts. Well, we understand nga na pwedeng gumamit ng mga aliases, pero yung mga names, di ba, yung mga nakasign, ay pinapakita nila doon, pare-parehas lang yung tinta, o yung stroke ng yun din. Pero sinasabi nga ni VP Sara na hindi daw niya alam itong mga acknowledgement receipts na ito na dumaan sa kanyang opisina.
Yes, leave it at that. Hindi niya alam pala.
Hindi niya alam.
Okay.
So, we'll see. Ano pa ba ang ating mga pag-uusapan for today? Let's continue with our countdown.
Placing at the fourth spot is Police Colonel Hector Grijaldo. The former Mandaluyong police chief is now detained in the House of Representatives. Grijaldo was arrested while he was having his checkup in a hospital. He was detained in Batasang, Pambansa on December 14, and he will spend his Christmas and New Year there. Grijaldo was cited in contempt for snubbing the House Quad Committee for the fourth time. He earlier alleged Congressman Dan Fernandez and Benny Abante of coercing him to confirm that a reward system existed under the Duterte administration.
Ayun, finally. Di ba hinahanap nila yan? Hindi kasi umate.
I
Pero
remember
may
that,
mga check-ups, may mga medical concern, kaya hindi nakakarating.
I remember
pero,
that yung
during the hearing.
During the hearing ay napanood natin testimony niya, yung biglang tapos sinabi pa ni former President Rodrigo Duterte, sino nagsabi na ipitin ako, didemand ako, di ba? Sabi, didemand ako sila ngayon, sabi ni PRRD. Pero if you look at the context, parang they were giving him a paper to sign, but na ang sa side ng Congress nila parang it's just a simple testimony. Ito ba ang nangyari? Kasi ito parang pinapakita nila yung testimony ng ibang nauna nila Garma na ganito ba ang nangyari? 'Di ba? Pakipirma. Ayaw pumirma. In the first place, I don't think congressman could physically coerce a police officer to sign a document na hindi naman totoo, 'di ba? Wala naman torture chamber sa loob ng House of Representatives 'di ba?
Pero yun, sinasabi nila, di ba, Congressman Benny Abante at saka ni Congressman Dan Fernandez na kapag nandiyan na siya, mag-inhibit sila.
Oo.
Diba?
See?
Oo. Tingnan natin.
Yun ang sinasabi ko.
Susunod na hearing nila, which is probably next year na yan. Pero, ibig sabihin, nakadetain siya ngayon sa Batasang Pambansa until Pasko na ba yun?
Kakasabi lang sa news na he will stay there Christmas and New Year.
Oh my.
Oo.
Yan. Alright, let's continue with our countdown. Now, on our top three, Jane Veloso will reportedly be flown back to the Philippines from Indonesia by Wednesday. Here's the report.
Jane Veloso has been transferred from the jail in Yogyakarta to Jakarta, Indonesia. Her documents are being processed, finally, for her transfer to Philippine custody. For 14 years, she went to a total of 3 prisons in Indonesia.
Terima kasih banyak, mohon doanya. Tuhan Saan ang barkati sa mga...
Mary Jane, ada pesan untuk Ramadi, Sir?
Yara mo ka sir bilang dia jaga kesehatan niya. Selamat hari Natal.
Happy nggak mau
Ya, bahagia banget.
Ya.
Ya. Ya, terima kasih.
Her parents and 2 children were supposed to fly to Indonesia for their final compassionate visit to Mary Jane. But the Indonesian government had it canceled because of the prison transfer.
We were advised na to wag na ituloy yung visit kasi baka wala rin silang maabutan doon.
The Departments of Justice and Foreign Affairs had confirmed that her return will happen before Christmas, with some reports stating that Veloso will be flown back to the Philippines by Wednesday. She will be headed straight to the Correctional Institution for Women in Mandaluyong City, where she will complete her sentence while waiting for President Bongbong Marcos to issue executive clemency.
Ayan. So, yung magiging protocol nila dyan, tinanong ko din yan kanina doon sa, Good Morning Kapatid. Pagdating niya dito, she will undergo a 5-day quarantine. Diba? Tapos...
Saan yung quarantine? Baka sa correctional. Pero sa side rooms lang naman siguro.
Quarantine, part kasi ito ng committed individuals deprived of liberty. So, during this period, she will be housed in a regular quarantine, tama ka, at the Correctional Institute for Women.
So, diretso siya doon.
Well, she will undergo yung mga medical procedures, physical examination niya. Pero after this, there will be another 55 days of additional undergoing orientation, diagnostics, at saka security classification. Pagkatapos nun, saka siya itatransfer doon sa kanyang facility.
So, Gen-Pop.
Oo, pero yung kanyang immediate family, yung kanyang nanay, yung tatay, yung kanyang mga anak, pwede na siyang bisitahin after the 5-day quarantine.
May mga ibang naman
That will fall December 24. On December 24. Oo.
May mga pagkakataon naman ibang PDL naman na tinatransfer. Ganon din naman nangyayari. They transfer you to the quarantine section of the correctional facility. Kahit sa mailer. That's standard. So, but that's within the correctional facility pa rin.
Yes, dun pa rin.
The reason why they do that are a lot of things. Number 1, yung health protocol. They're going to say anong sakit meron ka, check up. Number 2, debriefing, di ba? They'll debrief you on yung situation nangyayari sa loob, do's and don'ts, and rule taking. Number 3, isasala nila yung, they're going to check out kung ano yung level of yung, sinasabi mo, security threat mo, di ba?
Yes.
Are you going to be with the murderers? Are you going to be yung mga estapador? O yung mga they will see kung saan ka nararapat ilagay and to make sure na kung linagay ka doon, you are safe.
Oo. So, yun nga yung sinasabi ko, no? Pagdating niya dito, after 5 days ng quarantine, 5 days niya sa quarantine, pwede na siyang bisitahin ng kanyang family, which will fall on December 24. That's Christmas Eve. Magandang regalo na rin yan sa kanya.
Oo.
Diba?
That's a step in the right direction. So, let's take it from there and after Christmas.
For the clemency, wag muna natin yun i-push, pero hopefully nga magkaroon ng clemency, diba? Pero not this time muna siguro, patapusin muna niya.
Si PBBM will parang nagparamdam na rin siya na he will take it slow and he will respect Indonesia because yung sending her over here as itself, it's a gift already.
Yes, di ba? Na siya, lagpas na siya, hindi na siya, she's out of the death row already.
Wala na siya sa firing
And
squad.
yun nga, di ba, pinag-uusapan din natin on the way here kanina, di ba, for context, hindi natin pag-uusapan tong pagbalik ni Mary Jane Veloso dito sa Pilipinas kung hindi dahil dun sa phone call na ginawa ni late President Benigno Aquino III, 'di ba? Yung kanyang 11 hours before siya mabitay, tumawag si President Noynoy Aquino doon sa Defense Affairs Minister, Foreign Affairs Minister ng Indonesia, which is somehow he broke the diplomatic protocol because as president, dapat yung counterpart lang niya yung kinakausap niya. But this time around, kinausap niya yung Foreign Affairs Minister na sinabi naman nung minister na yun, sige, diretso ko sasabihin ito dun sa
dapat
aming
president to president or Foreign Affairs Secretary to Foreign Affairs Minister.
Yes. So,
pero
sinabi nga nila na they need Mary Jane Veloso to testify doon sa kanilang kaso dito dahil nga doon sa illegal recruitment and
nag-backtrack ako ng konti and I remembered what happened yung last 10 days niya bago siya bitayin kasi hindi pa ina-announce masyado kay Mary Jane yung the person na bibitayin o yung firing squad, they really don't know yet until the last day. So I remember yung nangyayari dito, ang daming movement sa Malacanang.
Kaya nga di ba sabi niya 11 hours before
no, even yung 10 days before si Pinoy was already on top of it, pero meron siyang, he had a team, he had several emissaries going back and forth. Meron siyang tao doon, meron siyang tao dito, making several calls. He had some lawmakers, ministers, tsaka siya mismo. Until such time that they were able to get on the phone, him directly sa foreign minister, to say, na wait lang, we caught the recruiters, di ba?
And we need their testimony.
Sabi ko, that was a very, very good
move,
political tactic. Actually, kasi ang pwede naman sana gawin, bago siya i-firing squad, write down, notarize. Pero parang inaano natin yung protocol ng court natin. We need her verified testimony.
Tapos
so,
after
that gave her time.
nun, medyo nawawala ng pag-asa nung pagdating ng Duterte administration.
Kasi stand ni PRRD is tuloy yung bitay.
Oo, tuloy yung bitay. Pero nung dumating nga naman ito si
PBBM.
Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, na iba din ulit yung
So dalawa na.
tono.
Sabi nila, West Philippine Sea and Mary Jane, iisa ang pananaw ni PBBM at ni Pinoy.
Alright, marami pa tayong pag-usapan, Diego.
Don't go away, we're not done yet. May dalawa pa tayo.
Stay with us.
Isang kasamahan dito sa mukha ng balita ang tinamaan ng sakit na tuberculosis of the spine. Ano nga ba ang sakit na ito? Limang taon ang producer sa 1PH ang 29 anyos na si Aaron Gripal. Pagdating sa trabaho, siya ay kilalang masipag at maaasahan. Pero Mayo ngayong taon, nagsimula siyang makaramdam ng pananakit ng likod. Sumailalim siya sa 6 na session ng physical therapy pero hindi nawawala ang pananakit. Nanghingi rin ng opinyon ng iba't ibang doktor. At iisa lang ang sinasabi, muscle spasm lang ito.
Actually, doon ako na-frustrate kasi yun nga, naka-apat na doktor. Siyempre hindi rin biro yung gastos sa physical therapy. So basically sa utak ko, namin ko na sayang na pera talaga.
7 buwan niyang tiniis ang sakit hanggang dumating ang Disyembre. Dito na siya nagkaramdam ng pamamanhid ng tiyan hanggang paa.
Parang 80% manhid na hindi ko naramdam, ng kapal. Tapos nawawala na rin yung balanse ng paa ko na pwede akong matumba talaga pag habang naglalakad. Tapos, yung pananakit ng likod ko, yung tumatagos na sa harap na kapag umubo, yung mapapakapit ka talaga sa buhay mo na di mo alam kasi baka pag umubo ka parang ka mapaparalyze talaga yung kuryente mula ulo hanggang paa na sobrang sakit.
Matapos ma-CT scan, dito na-discovery na mayroon siyang TB of the spine o kung tawagin ay Pott's disease. Ayon sa isang orthopedic doctor, 26% ng mga taong may TB sa spine ay may TB din sa baga. Pero hindi lahat ng may TB sa baga ay nagkakaroon ng Pott's disease.
Isang pasyente is merong tuberculosis sa lungs niya, there's a tendency for it to spread to other parts of the body. And isa sa mga pinupuntirya nitong bacteria na to is yung ating spine, no? The most common manifestation, back pain talaga. Back pain, tapos moderate grade fever, no? Weight loss, yan yung mga usual na mga symptoms na nakikita natin, no?
Dagdag pa ni Doc, ang Pott's disease ay nagagamot. Gaya ng gamot sa TB sa baga, libre rin itong nakukuha sa health centers. Pero kapag malala na ang kondisyon at may naipit ng ugat sa spinal cord, tulad sa nangyari kay Aaron, kinakailangan na itong operahan.
Huwag muna natin idadaan sa mga hilot-hilot. The earlier ma-diagnose ang Pott's disease, the better the prognosis for the patients, no?
Mahalaga rin sana ang MRI para sa agarang detection ng TB of the spine. Pero sa kaso ni Aaron, hindi ito pwedeng gawin dahil dati na rin siyang sumailalim sa heart surgery at may bakal na sa kanyang puso. At sa panibago niyang operasyon, nilagyan naman ng bakal ang kanyang spinal cord.
Since the operation, di pa rin ako makatayo. Di pa rin ako makabangon mag-isa, makatayo, makalakad. Lakad ko ngayon, parang akong lumulutang na hindi ko alam kung nasa yung sentro ko. So parang tutumba talaga ako kapag isang mali, ganyan.
Higit 1 milyon na ang bill niya sa ospital. Kaya kumakatok po siya sa inyong mga puso.
Sana makakuha kami ng tulong kahit papaano na pambawas din sa sa mga gastusin dito sa ospital, lalo na't biglaan, magpapasko. Hindi naman namin alam saan kukuha bigla ng pera na hindi naman namin akalain nakakalanganin namin, di ba?
Ako po si Mobile Journal Yeda Pascual na nagpapaalala na ang bawat may karamdaman ay kailangan din ng kalinga.
Ayun, if you're looking for the true meaning of Christmas, ito, you have an opportunity here on your screen, si Aaron Gripal. Yung e-wallet niya with the number below. If you're looking to give a gift to somebody,
Ito na
might as
yun.
well
This
give a
is your
gift. All of you can give a
opportunity.
gift to Aaron. And then in lieu of yung regalo mo sa isang tao, pwede mo sabihin, binigay ko na lang kay Aaron. Kasi ito yung spirit po ng Christmas, hindi po material na bagay talaga. Minsan we tend to forget the true meaning of Christmas because we're so caught up in material things, in the parties and commercialism. But this is, tinetesting na po kayo ng Diyos. Ito ang ating Christmas spirit kung magagawa niyo to. Si Aaron Gripal po, ito yung numbers flashed on your screen. We are later, kahit tayo magbibigay
0917-534-2347. At isa po siya dito sa mga masisipag na kasama natin dito sa 1PH.
Naiyak naman ako.
Ako din naiyak ako.
Ayan, si Aaron Gripal is asking for your help. It's up to you to respond.
Alright, let's continue with our countdown.
On our top two, lawmakers defend higher budget allocation for public works over education. Now, in the version approved by the BICAM, DepEd only has 737 billion peso budget, lower compared to 1.1 trillion pesos for the DPWH. Now, this is despite our constitution saying that the highest allocation should always go to education. But lawmakers explain there are still separate funding for CHED, TESDA, as well as for state universities and colleges.
Hindi naman po porke bumaba ay hindi na po priority. It is one of the priorities and it's one of the big priorities of this administration. Meron lang po mga programa na kailangan nating i-reassess.
Yan. So, parang yan. Yung sa DepEd daw, medyo bumaba, pero ang sinasabi kasi nila, meron separate pa naman ng CHED and TESDA.
Yeah.
Parang ginagawa ng lawmakers, yung total budget naman yan for education in totality, yung mataas. Pero ang interpretation ng iba, yung DepEd mismo dapat...
DepEd, kasi nasa constitution natin yun eh.
Sabi ba DepEd ba?
Dapat DepEd ang highest
DepEd
sa
or
lahat
education
ng
ang
mga
sinabi?
ahensya. DepEd.
DepEd mismo. Separate pa ang CHED and TESDA.
I don't know. Pero yun ang sinasabi
Anyway,
ng mga lawmakers.
may kakausapin tayo so we can clarify all of these issues. So, we have it as a former senator and Senate President.
Hindi pa,
wala pa
muna
pala.
tayo. Top 1 muna tayo.
Top 1 muna tayo. Sorry. Go.
Emerging to the top spot is the proposed 2025 national budget. President Bongbong Marcos sided with the bicameral committee's decision of stripping PhilHealth's subsidy. His sister, Senator Amy Marcos, urged him to scrutinize the approved budget before signing it. Here's a report.
The bicameral committee's decision to remove subsidy for PhilHealth in next year's budget was met with uproar. Some senators like Chivi Ejercito and Risa Ontiveros said this is illegal and unconstitutional. Meanwhile, Senate President Cheese Escudero justified this move as a quote-unquote lecture for PhilHealth's supposed mismanagement of funds. For his part, President Bongbong Marcos sided with the bicameral committee. The president noted that PhilHealth has a surplus of reserve funds. Out of its 500 billion pesos reserve funds, PhilHealth only spent 260 billion pesos last year.
I know na naaabala ang tao because bakit natin binawasan? Dahil ang katotohanan dyan ay kung tignan ninyo, kaya binawi ng Department of Finance yung ilang reserve na naman doon na naiwan dahil hindi nagamit yun ng ilang taon. In other words, the PhilHealth has sufficient budget to do all of the things that they want to do.
PBBM added that PhilHealth has a problem with their management.
The reason why is that we do not want to subsidize it is because it is the subsidy will hook lang doon sa bank account ng PhilHealth, hindi magagamit. Marami tayong paggagamitan noon. So that's a simple explanation there.
His sister, Senator Amy Marcos, opposed the removal of PhilHealth subsidy. She urged his brother to scrutinize the national budget proposal before signing it.
Sinusuway ka na ng mga ilang tao na akala mo siguro makakabuti para sa atin at para sa bayan. Pero nakita naman natin na eto nga at nakikiusap ako na sana pakitutukan mo ang issue ng pondo at ng budget at ipaalala na ang pakikialam ng mga mambabatas sa departamento at mga sangay ng gobyerno ay labag sa batas at labag sa konsensya ng tao.
Senator Marcos added that she will not sign the BICAM report.
Hindi ako kailanman pumirma ng anumang papel hinggil sa budget ng 2025 o sa BICAM report na yan na nagsusulong na magbawas ng pera sa mga lehitimong proyekto. Paano ko naman pipirmahan ang blankong papel?
Meanwhile, President Marcos vowed to restore the 10 billion pesos slash from the Education Department's budget proposal. The BICAM committee removed this amount from DepEd's budget due to the delayed procurement under its computerization program.
So we're working on it to make sure that we will restore it. I do not want to line item veto anything because that just gets in the way.
PBBM aims to sign the 2025 proposed budget before Christmas.
Now, to get more insights about this, we have former Senate President Franklin Drilon joining us via Zoom.
Good morning, Senator Drilon. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning.
All right, Senator, a very controversial budget that we have. I'd like to get your reaction, but do you agree na sinasabi po ng ibang sector na this budget is heavy on the infrastructure side rather than serving the people's best interests?
Kung gagawa po ako ng libro, ang pamagat ng libro, How to Fund Your Pork Barrel. Because it's a classic example of how they have cut the budget of DepEd, cut the budget of PhilHealth, cut the budget of DSWD in order to fund the pork barrel. Paano po nangyari ito? Noong sinumiti ng Pangulong Marcos yung budget sa Kongreso, ang nakalaan, ang budget ng DPWH ay 825 billion. Yun ang kabuuan ng budget ng DPWH. Pagkatapos po ng Bicameral Conference Committee, ang version po ng budget ng DPWH ay umaabot ng 1 trillion 113 billion and 113 million. So 1.113 billion ang lumabas sa BICAM version. Ibig sabihin, tinaasan ng ating mga kongresista ng mahigit sa 288.7 billion ang budget ng DPWH alone. Ang 288 yan po ang pork barrel ng ating kasama sa Kongreso. Ulitin ko lang, tinaasan ang budget ng DPWH from 825 billion to 1 trillion 113 million. The difference of 288.7 billion is the pork barrel only in DPWH. Hindi natin alam kung magkano pa ang sinaksak sa ibang departamento ng gobyerno. Ngayon, paano po pinundahan ito? Dahilan kailangan nila punduhan ito dahil kung hindi nila pupunduhan, tataas ang budget by 288 billion dahil yan ang dinagdag sa budget ng DPWH. Siyempre, ang overall budget ay tataas ng 288.7 billion kung hindi nila gawa ng paraan. Ngayon, anong ginawa ng paraan? Kinuha nila ang pondo ng DepEd, 10 billion. Ang 4-piece program, 50 billion. Ang PhilHealth, 74 billion. Ang CHED, 30 billion. Para po punuin itong 188 billion na dinagdag nila sa DPWH. Yan po ang nangyari. Kaya ang sabi ko nga, kung gagawa ako ng libro, ang title ay How Do I Fund My Pork Barrel? Dahilan po, yan ang maliwanag.
Yun nakwenta nyo yun ang former senator, yung mga kinat nila sa DepEd, sa CHED, sa DSWD. Yun yung total ng inangat nila sa DPWH.
Mahigit po, mahigit pa dyan. Kasi hindi yung 288 billion, 288.7 billion, ay pork barrel lamang sa DPWH. Mayroon pang ibang pork barrel na sinaksak eh. Hindi ko lang alam kung saan. But I am sure, hindi lang po infrastructure project. So yan po ang sinaksakan nila ng pork barrel. At para hindi po lumagpas ang total budget sa budget ng Pangulo na ibisinumiti sa Congress, yan po ay naghanap sila ng ahensya na babawasan ang budget. So ang nakita nila, yun pong DPWA ay yung Department of Education, yung pong DSWD, yun pong PhilHealth. Ngayon,
Yeah po, yung sa PhilHealth po, speaking of PhilHealth, do you agree on what the President said about it? Na tama lang po yung desisyon ng BICAM na bawasan, no? Wag bigyan pala, wag bawasan. Zero subsidy ang PhilHealth mismo.
Tama yung sinasabi nila na mayroong 500 plus billion na reserve ang PhilHealth. Tama po yan. Ngunit hindi dapat alisin yung subsidy dahil sa ito na may trust fund. Ang ibig sabihin, ito'y pera para sa universal health. Hindi po pera itong gastusin ng bureaucrasya. Kung hindi para po sa mga mahihirap. Trust fund po ito. Hindi po pwedeng pagkukunan ito. Kaya po, hindi ba kini-question sa Supreme Court yung pag-wish ng nakarang taon? Because the PhilHealth is is similar to a trust fund. Ngayon, may reserve po yan, 500 plus billion. Ngunit hindi ibig sabihin, hindi pa nangangailangan ng pondo ang PhilHealth. Dahilan po, unang-una maraming nagrereklamo, mababa po ang benepisyo. Hindi po lahat na gastusin sa ospital ay nasasagot ng PhilHealth. Maliit lang ang kanilang nasasagot. Pangalawa, ang dami po utang ng PhilHealth sa mga hospital.
Yes.
Hundreds of billions. So they must pay this. And then there is need to computerize PhilHealth so that the anomalies would not be repeated. So it is not correct to say that there is a reserve fund. Yes, there is a reserve fund. That is why the PhilHealth will not collapse this year. But if you continue with this, it will collapse at some point in the future. In fact, nung nasa Senado ako, isa po sa mga sinasabi ng PhilHealth officials, in 2030, baka po wala ng pundo ang PhilHealth. Dahilan sa yung pundo nila, ginagamit taon-taon at ito po'y trust fund na para pong SSS yan eh. Hindi pwedeng sabihin na dahil may pera ang SSS o GSIS, hindi na maglalagay ng subsidy. Hindi pwede yan.
Okay.
So, ganun pong sitwasyon sa PhilHealth.
Alright, Senator Drilon, we'd also want to ask your opinion po regarding sa yung total budget for education. Sinasabi nila, in totality naman daw, hindi naman daw ganun kababa ang budget na inallocate sa education because kasama naman daw ang CHED, ang TESDA, ang DepEd. Pero ang interpretation po ng iba, ang nakasaad daw sa batas, sa DepEd dapat ang pinakamataas. Ano po ang opinion niyo dito?
Education sector ang pinakamataas.
Yes.
At dapat ang allocation. Education sector. At liwanagin natin, ang education sector, hindi lamang DepEd. Kasama dyan yung state colleges and universities. Di ba? Kasama din yan yung TESDA. Kasama yung ibang ahensya na may relasyon sa education. So, ang saligang batas ang sinasabi, the education sector must have the highest priority. Hindi po Department of Education. So, may basehan po na sasabihin na hindi lamang DepEd. But having said that, I do not know exactly the figures whether or not adding all of these agencies as part of the education sector will make it the highest in terms of allocation. I do not know that. I haven't added or seen the entire budgets of DepEd, of TESDA, of CHED, of the SUCs. So, but as a matter of principle, the budget of the education sector consists of these agencies involved in the education, not only the Department of
Right.
Education.
Former Senator, perhaps you could enlighten us doon sa, kahit mabilis lang po, no? Kasi wala po tayo oras, doon po sa proseso ng bicameral committee. Kasi sinasabi po nung iba, after na-sign itong bicameral...
Mga senators.
Oo, no? After po na-sign nila itong budget, may mga naririnig po tayo mga interviews left and right na may mga senators na sabi, ay hindi ko po alam yan, ano nangyari. Ano po ba yan? Hindi po ba nila binasa yung pinirmahan nilang proposed national budget?
Yeah.
Or meron po bang siningit ang Congress na hindi nila alam? What's happening
insertions.
Tama po yan. Dapat basahin mo ang pipirmahan mo. Ngunit ang katotohanan, and this is the reality, yung budget, mga one foot high yan eh. Ang kapal nilang libro. Kaya at ang pressure sa Kongreso na pirmahan agad, nandyan yan. Kaya yan ay tama, dapat basahin nila. Ngunit in practical terms, it is impossible to read it. But having said that, the President has to sign the budget.
Yes.
And in signing the budget, he can exercise what we call the line item veto. Ibig sabihin, i-veto niya yung mga portions na hindi sang-ayon sa kanyang polisiya. Halimbawa, yung siningit na pork barrel na 288 billion sa DPWH alone. The President has the power to veto per line or per item, per section, this allocation in addition to what he placed in the President's budget. And use the funds that will be saved from that veto in order to fund the DepEd, the DSWD, the PhilHealth budget cuts. So, pwede po gawin yan. Ngayon, pwede rin sabihin ng Senate President at ng Speaker of the House, i-convene muli natin. Let us convene again the Bicameral Conference Committee in order to correct these defects which the public now complains about. And pwede nila gawin yan. Kung hindi nila gagawin, the President can exercise his power to veto sections in the budget and use the savings as a result of that veto to fund the essential budgets like DSWD, like PhilHealth, like DepEd.
Opo. Former Senator, yung yung usapin po dito sa ayuda sa Kapos-Sangkita program o AKAP, is that even legal na magkaroon po ng ganong kalaking pera yung mga congressman natin at saka senador pagdating po dito sa budget na ito, yung AKAP?
Legal po yan, ngunit tama ba yan? It's legal because the power to over the purse, the power to spend public funds, the authority rests in Congress. But is it a correct policy? Is it a correct policy to do what they did and increase this amount? Let's face it. Next year is an election year. Right. Kahit ano pa pong sabihin natin, gagamitin po sa politika itong mga pundong ito. Kaya policy-wise, mali. Kailangan nga, pero gagamitin sa pamumulitika, kaya mali. Sana po huwag mangyari, but it is there. And that is why if they can institute reforms in order to make sure, or at least to minimize political insofar as this item is concerned.
Alright, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras. Hopefully we can invite you again to talk this further. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras. Former Senator Franklin Drilon.
Okay.
Thank you po.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was former Senate President Franklin Drilon.
8 days before Christmas. At mananatili po ang puno na ito dito at everyday.
Baka masira na siya.
Pag 8 days, wala na ang Christmas tree. Yay! Alright, and that wraps up today's episode of Brunch. Join us again tomorrow. She's Angela Lagunzad-Castro. I'm Angelo Castro III. We are One News. All sides all the time.